All right, everyone. I want to talk about setting up for a mix. It's a big deal whenever you jump in to say, I'm going to mix this, that you're approaching from a standpoint of creativity. And the last thing you want to do is be bogged down. I'm imagining like you're getting into a big race in your car, and then you realize your tires are old. Well, that's just unacceptable. You got to have somebody, either you or another person, that goes ahead and puts new tires on that car to get it all ready to go. So for the big race, you can go. And anything that takes away from the mindset, of kicking butt. Anything that slows you down or bores you or isn't fun stands the risk of I guess put sabotaging the whole thing, because the second that you feel you're not having fun when you're mixing, you start approaching everything from I guess from a position of weakness. You approach everything trying to make things not sound bad, as opposed to making them sound really good. There's a certain feeling when you're alive, where you're just kicking butt, where you can say, like, "Oh man, I'm really breaking the rules on this one. They're gonna hammer me for all this crazy stuff I'm doing." When I do mixes like that, they are never bad. They might be too much. They might be a little bit bold, and the band might be like, "Well, you need to really calm down, Brandon." But they never say that sucks ever. So a big way to get that is to make sure we set up everything the right way to begin with. And what's the right way? Well, there isn't a right way to do this, but I can tell you what the wrong way is. The wrong way is when everything is disorganized, you don't know where anything is, and you're just wasting time. All right, so let's look at what I got here. Now, the first thing you'll notice is, if you can see this, I don't know if the font's big enough for your screen, I've got the kick drum. It's at the very top. I always have my kick drum up on the top, no matter what. That's how I like it. You also notice it's red, like all the other drums. So if I'm down here fiddle farting around with, I don't know, this harmony thing, and I know when I get to tom 1, well, I know it's right here, and I can find it fast because not only is it where it's supposed to be, and labeled, of course, which I guess is another big deal, pretty obvious deal, but also the colors set it up that way. It's so important when I hear something I don't like that I can attack it immediately. And you could say, well, what's the big deal of taking 3 extra seconds to dig through some junk? And the deal is, it's everything. As I talked about, anything that messes my mindset up, anything that makes me not 100% is a huge problem. So anyway, I got kick, snare, and then that's the regular snare top, and then I have the trigger track right there, snare bottom, hi-hats, etc. We really don't have to get into the details of that too much, but we'll keep going here. And of course, the bass is blue. Acoustic DI, which is junk, actually. Well, maybe it's not. I can't remember, actually. Okay, that is junk. Anyway. And you can see here, the electric guitars are green. The lead vocal, I always have this aqua blue color. And then background harmonies and stuff are red. And then I also have Ruprecht, my assistant, do a lot of routing for me. There are certain things that I'm going to do every single mix, and there's no real reason for me to put off, or for me to have to do it myself. Because when I come into the mix, I don't want to have to deal with, I don't know, for example, I have pretty. I'm pretty sure this pretty bus is going to be overheads and hi-hat. And it looks like Ruprecht got it right. Very good, Ruprecht. Caught a pause. Okay, and so if I solo that, we got a lot of reverb on there, but I know that's my cymbals, and I know those aren't going to get squashed, and I know I can go ahead and solo my drum close, which is all my close mics, and so if I wanted to go ahead and slap 11-76 and crush those things, it'd be real easy to do so. And then I got, of course, toms flow from my toms bus to my drums bus. Well, the reason I do that is so I can work on my toms as a group or an individual track if I need to. I always prefer to do all my EQing on toms globally at first and try to catch as many problems as possible. It's pretty much a given I'm going to cut 400 hertz on all toms, so it just makes sense to do that with one EQ and do it in 10 seconds or something, as opposed to having to go through that through 6 different mics, bottom and top of the toms. And then I've got my attack bus, and my sustain bus, my pretty bus, as I already showed you, and all these drum buses, which are also red, corresponding to the color I like my drums to be, the tracks I mean, they all flow to the drums subgroup, I guess. So ultimately, then I can adjust all those tracks right here with EQ and compression and all that stuff. If I wanted to mute the drum bus or all drums at once, I could have said M, and we'll hear no drums. Down, 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 yeah! Pretty cool. And again, this is a routine that I do every single time. I had to draw this up once upon a time, but now my assistant always gets this. Well, he's supposed to get it right. He usually does. Um, it speeds things up so much so that I can be creative, hop in and do a mix, get it done fast, and more importantly, get it done good. Because the worst thing I hate is when I get bogged down, I screwed up, I'm not happy, I'm in a bad mood. I can't mix in a bad mood. So anyway, make sure you're developing yourself a system for how you mix. And no matter what, even if you have to pay someone else to do it for you or you make yourself do it yourself, is set this thing up in an orderly fashion. Force yourself to do it. It is entirely worth it. Do it. Thanks, guys. Bye.